is that, we have to solve the program which I described is based on our past experiences, based on karma. It's called karma. And any spiritual process, to experience spiritual happiness, you have to somehow or other get rid of your karma, because while here you're experiencing the results of your karma, and that's the obstacle for you to experience something higher, because all your consciousness is concentrated on experiencing the results of your karma. So you have to get rid of your karma. You have to get rid of these sufferings. And this verse in Padma Purana explains how we experience this, how we gradually getting rid of our karma. And it is said, it's very important. First of all, when you start practicing Krishna consciousness in the very beginning, you get rid of aprarabdha karma, which means, a huge amount of karma, which you have, which has not been manifested yet. Every one of us has so much karma. This lady, she was actually, nobody knows, even Krishna says, nobody knows how the karma works. Why we experience this particular karma in this particular time, it's so complicated. Some astrologers know a little bit, they can tell you some reasons, but it's such a complicated thing, Within one lifetime, we create so much karma. Then, for 8,500,000 lifetimes, we're trying to get rid of this karma. A human life is an amazing life. And you get so much karma within this one human life. So, first of all, when you start practicing Krishna consciousness, all your aprarabdha karma, which is there, is finished, no problem. Quite soon. That's easy. You don't even notice. You start chanting Hare Krishna very seriously. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Aprarabdha karma finished. You can chant once more, just in case. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For sure, 100%. Aprarabdha karma is finished. But then kutam. Kutam is very interesting, very interesting word. What is kutam? Kutam means the tip of the mountain, right? If you know a little Sanskrit. Kutam means the tip of the mountain, the peak of mountain. What does it mean? It means that we have the mountain of our karma. And we have the peak, which is kutam. So the rest of the mountain is finished, but the peak is still there. The huge mountain is finished, but the peak is there. What is this peak? Peak is this portion of karma which we brought in this lifetime with this body. So it's already prarabdha, it's already manifested, but it's just the peak of the mountain. It's a little portion which we will have to experience in this lifetime. Together with this body is there. So, and this kuta, if you continue practicing Krishna consciousness very seriously, after some time, you will, kuta means that, so many diseases may be there in the future. You have genetically, it means your genes. Everyone has particular genes, and we all brought some genetically programmed diseases with us. Somebody is more inclined to have, diabetes. Somebody is more inclined to have heart diseases. Somebody is more inclined to have cancer, and they're all there. We don't know. We think I'm healthy, but it's there. All the karma, all these sufferings, which you have to undergo, is there. But if you continue to to this kuta, the future sufferings will also be finished. This is krama, the consequence. But for that you will have to work hard, for that you will have to concentrate even more, for that you have to really, for that you have to change, basically you have to change the program which is there in your brain already. Kuta means the program which is in our genes, which is working already and which produced certain type of brain which we have. The beauty is that we can change even genes. When we, it's very scientific what I say. There is a science which is called, very new science, which is called epigenetics. And epigenetics says that initially scientists, when they started experimenting about the genome, human genome, they found out that the amount of DNA which is there in human cells is much more than the real DNA which we need to function our body. Approximately 2% or 5% of DNA is actually working. And the huge amount of DNA is lying dormant, completely inactive. And how is it proper from the, if it doesn't have any use, why the nature would not eliminate it? Why so much DNA is being reproduced and being stored? What is this? What is this information? For what it is? And from this discovery, ultimately, the scientists, this new science of epigenetics was discovered or was developed, that ultimately this science says that these old genes, which are not really active in this life, which are dormant, but potentially then they can be activated. Due to some experiences, due to some stuff, and they don't know how to activate, they don't know the process. But what I mean to say is that you have genes which are, you're programmed to suffer in a certain way, and that means the defective genes. But you can get rid of these defective genes. You can get good genes to work, which are already there in your cells. And that means kuta. When you work on this level of your karma through Krishna consciousness, you will change basically even your genes. You will look differently. Didn't you notice that you start looking differently? That people who practice for a long time, they change, they become more harmonious. Even the face become different. Some people, they are born with some, then, when they chant Hare Krishna, then somehow they become a little more symmetric, Some people have this, inborn. Why? Because this kuta, it's changing. It's not a myth. It's a reality. It's really reality. Sometime in the future, scientists will take a devotee and they will show how the different genes will be activated and how some more, you become more balanced in your, what is this kuta? Kuta means certain imbalances in your brain, which manifest as imbalances in your body, ultimately. And while practicing Krishna consciousness, if you practice it properly, you become more balanced in your brain. Did you notice it? That you become gradually little more balanced, little more, not so much extremes here and there. So that's kuta. But there is kuta of the kuta. Kuta of the kuta, the very tip of iceberg. You change this, kutam bijam. Bijam means desire. Desire which you already experience now. The desire which are raging in your body. Sex desire, which is already there. The lust which we have, or anger which we have, or, all these desires which, which are already there, which we already experience. Kuta means some future desires, which we could have developed, but luckily if we practice Krishna consciousness, we will not develop these desires. But desires which we already having now is the present part. This is bija. Bija, the seeds, they are not yet manifested, or maybe desires which very soon will appear in us. That's bija. Bija means karma in the form of very strong desires within our body. So if you continue practicing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. No desires, right? Right now, no desires. You're happy. You will develop this state when all these bijas become deactivated, when they become, as yogis they describe, the samskaras become thin. Now the samskaras are very thick, they're very strong. The pushes which they give to us, very strong, extremely strong. But the process of meditation, and Hare Krishna mantra is a process of meditation. By the process of meditation, we will make all the samskaras little less thick. They become thinner and thinner and thinner, weaker and weaker and weaker. And they're not pushing us so strong, all these vegas which are there. Udaru, Pasta Vegas, they become more gentle and not so uncontrollable. We can control them, and we know, oh, this is good. This I can use this Vega, and I can use this desire in a proper way, and this desire I shouldn't use. So this is bija, and ultimately you will be able to control your bijas, your desires which are there.